All right. You good?
Yeah, that's. Are we good, guys?
I think those were all really, really solid episodes.
Can we talk about Amiibo? Can we do one more? I think we should talk about it.
Do it.
All right.
Just cause you're right. I just saw that. I think, a little discussion on Amiibo.
I thought you were tired.
All right, then you don't want to do it.
No. Let's do it. Record.
No, you don't want to
Hello,
do it.
welcome to
Jason's
another episode of Nintendo
he's
Enthusiast
too
Radio.
good for Amiibos. He can't do the episode. Boop a doop boop.
So you're recording?
Anyway, I haven't stopped recording since the first episode.
Oh man, that would
Okay.
be a great intro.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Nintendo Enthusiast Radio. I'm Dakota, here with Eli, Jason, and Sean. I have a quick little episode for you here, guys, because we're talking about other stuff, and we kind of lost track of all the topics, and it just came to our attention that we had a good amount of Amiibo news recently, and Amiibo kind of being Nintendo Skylander, kind of being a pretty big development for them recently. I figured we talk about that. Sean, can you give us a little bit of like a recap of what's been going on Amiibo-wise recently?
Yeah, so they've confirmed a price of $13 a piece. There are going to be, I believe, 12 Amiibos released, such as Donkey Kong, Mario, Bowser, Fox McCloud, a bunch of other people, and they're going to work across, multiple games. Smash Brothers is going to be included. We saw some of how it was going to be involved in Smash Brothers during E3, but it's also going to be in Mario Kart, which is pretty interesting. So I guess the first thing to get out of the way is price point. What does everyone think of the price point? Me personally, I think it's cool. $13. It's not, some little rinky-dink plastic piece of crap action figure. It's a quality build. It's got really good detail on it. And I mean, it's going to work.
And it has features and stuff. Yeah, it has
Right.
It's more than just a statue or whatever.
Right. People will probably buy them just as statues because they look that good. But the fact that, it's going to be used in game and across multiple games, $13 to me is pretty reasonable. I have no issues with that. Anyone else have to chime in on the pricing?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think $12.99 is an excellent price point. Not because of the price itself, but because it's competitive with Disney Infinity figures, which I think are 15. Skylanders are also 13 or 14. So that's why I think it's a good price because, parent walks into the store, sees 3 different games with figurines, and, they don't really care that Amiibo work across different games and all the special features. They care that the figures are going to, drain less on their wallet. And you get Mario, you get characters you actually know. So I think the price point is great.
Apparently they'll be making an Amiibo for every character on the Smash roster. So right now that's looking to be almost around 50 Amiibos, which means that if you wanted to buy all of them, you'd have to shell out at least $600 to get every single Smash Bros. Amiibo. Do you think any like really avid collectors are gonna do that? I think at least one person.
Oh, for sure. No,
Yeah, people will. I won't. I'll probably buy maybe 4 during the release. And yeah, I kind of want to see, how they're going to be used more. Like, I think Nintendo, obviously they're going to do like a Nintendo Direct specifically on Amiibos, but like realistically, how the hell is it going to be used in Mario Kart? Like, does anyone have any idea of how it's going to be used in Mario Kart?
I think it's going to be, this is just speculation, but probably like a ghost. They kept talking about how the Amiibo is kind of your imaginary friend, that you train with him, that you make him stronger, and that you play against him. So you could probably have them race, like you could race against them and you could gain stats like that.
Yeah, you'll probably even improve their racing by constantly racing against them. Maybe they learn off of you. Maybe you can have Amiibo races. I mean, we know in Smash you can pit Amiibos against one another. Maybe you can do the same thing in Mario Kart. Pit your Amiibos in a big Amiibo race and, do whatever that way.
What if they did online Amiibo races? Do you think anyone would do that? And if so, how cool would that be? Because I would totally do that.
I guess that would be pretty cool.
Like if you did the whole training thing, like you train your Amiibo and then you're like, all right, I'm going to unleash this dude on the world and see, how he stands. Like, I think that would be very interesting. That would be really cool. That would be a great way to use it.
I'd actually be kind of interested in like team racing, almost in like, all right, let's say, so there's 12 racers in a Mario Kart 8 race. And let's say 6 of them are real racers and the other 6 are Amiibos. And everyone is on like a team with their amiibo, kind of like NASCAR or whatever. I think that's kind of more interesting because I feel like the novelty of watching amiibos race each other will kind of wear off because it's kind of essentially watching computers play each other, and rarely do people kind of enjoy that. I don't think people will be watching that all the time, but I think it would be cool to team up with your amiibo. A lot of people at Smash are talking about, amiibo doubles. You have a player and team with his amiibo versus another human amiibo team. I think that would be a cool concept to transfer into Mario Kart as well, because it kind of has that team aspect already available in the game anyway.
I got one question for you, Dakota. As a competitive Smash player, would you like to see that on the competitive side of things, or do you think that would taint it because, of the whole training aspect of your amiibo? Or, do you think that would be a cool thing on the competitive side of Smash?
I would love to see it as a side event. I mean, it's going to be one of those gimmick kind of competitions. All right, who wants to enter this $5, whatever. It's obviously never going to it's not going to beat singles, 1v1, 2v2, or even, free-for-all or Smash Run. But, yeah, I would love to see it as a side event. I think it's a really cool way to, integrate the amiibos into the experiences. I think that's already going to be a thing. I really hope that you can load up custom movesets on your amiibos or something like that. But even then, bringing your amiibo to a tournament, like a Pokemon, like, all right, how is yours? Maybe trading amiibo data with people. Like, I'm going to this tournament, I'm going to get Hungry Box's amiibo data. Let's see how he's trained up his amiibo. And, all right, well, I haven't gotten Hungry Box's amiibo since June, but it's like September now. I'm going to get it how more improved has it gotten. I think in that realm, having your amiibo around others and having the ability to possibly trade or, get training in against other people's kind of counters, because you're playing. The amiibo isn't, a carbon copy of their player. It's a counter, so you're kind of playing like the counter, to the player. You're kind of, another stage of that. I think that's really interesting. I really hope the amiibo has a multitude of features and not just, all right, transfer your custom looks or whatever. I think there's a lot of potential for the amiibo, especially at tournaments.
Especially on, as you brought up Pokemon. I mean, holy,
yeah.
Like that's gonna make a lot of freaking money if they do Pokemon. Of course, they're gonna do Pokemon amiibos, but if they do it right, that's gonna make a crap ton of money, like insane amounts of money.
They're gonna need to. They should bundle, like, eventually after the initial release, start bundling so you can get like 6 or a dozen at a discounted price, because that everyone wants to pick like as many of these as they can.
I just need my Ridley amiibo and I'm good.
I think especially for a game like Pokemon, if they do Pokemon amiibos, which, like I said, is a gold mine, I could definitely see some packages of that. And, I mean, there's the really, at first I thought, I'll be honest, I was not completely sold on the whole amiibo thing, but I don't know, man. Nintendo just knows how to do different things right. Like, they take a concept and then they make it the Nintendo way. And like what they're doing with Amiibo, like is very, very interesting.
Well, and they're already gonna have Pokemon too. I mean, they're gonna have Greninja, Pikachu, and Charizard already, as Amiibos. So it kind of makes sense to have more Pokemon.
And just think of Pokken Tournament having Amiibos with that, right?
Yes, Pokken Tournament gonna have Amiibos, definitely.
Yeah, Sean, on your point, you were saying how like Nintendo twists these ideas in new, innovative ways. It was interesting that the creator of Skylanders had actually went to Nintendo first to get that game out, and I don't recall the details of how that deal fell apart, but I just love how they took it. In a statement they released not that long ago, they were saying how Skylanders, you have to buy things to unlock parts of the game, whereas with the Amiibos you buy them to add content. It's not, you're not unlocking anything, it's adding a whole new game element to your already existing game. So that's just great.
And I think it speaks to maybe a new direction with Nintendo, where they're trying to do a lot more crossovers with their characters. I mean, we're seeing obviously Link and Villager and Isabelle in Mario Kart, but what else could we see? Because we're having so many different games sharing Amiibos. I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to include characters who have Amiibos in other games that work with Amiibos more often, because the functionality is already there. And I want to go back to like the Link and Mario Kart thing. Well, if you think about it, there could be a kind of a reverse thing. What if characters that have appearances in other games or Amiibos because of other games show up in like Smash, for example? I know that there was a text leak. It was just some post that was saying that it was like a Smash Bros. Leak on 4chan, saying how Isabelle is maybe a character in Smash Bros. It's like a villager clone, which kind of seems off-putting because it's a villager clone, but it kind of makes sense because Isabelle may get an amiibo because she's in Mario Kart, and it would make sense that if she's in Smash as well to have an amiibo because of that cross functionality. So we could look at the amiibos and kind of maybe test the waters and see where Nintendo's going to go next in terms of where characters may show up. I think that's a very exciting thing to see, where characters may show up next. And, we already see the talks of Mario Kart becoming more like Smash Bros. In the next game. Maybe we'll see Samus, maybe we'll see, I don't know, we'll see Marth in Mario Kart or something like that. Who knows? I'm kind of excited by that because, those kind of spin-off games is where that stuff should happen. Mario Kart, Smash Bros, that kind of stuff, because we can always go back to their original games and enjoy them for where they come from, where, other game series that bring a ton of characters together like Street Fighter or League of Legends, something like that. You can't go back to that character's original game. You can't take that amiibo back to their game or whatever that is. And Nintendo has that concept. They have that idea. They have the execution. I'm really excited to see where amiibos go once they come out.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing really what it ends up being developed to, because right now it seems an idea that's very infantile stage. Doesn't seem like it's too thought out so far, but I think it'll get there. And I think after like fan feedback comes out after the first month it's out or whatever, they'll continue adding new features to these amiibo and new functionalities, and that's when will really get interesting. And when you start mixing and matching different amiibo, I'm really interested to see how this all develops, because currently I'm just buying one just to buy one, but I'm hoping that it's going to get to a point where I'm buying multiple because this one does this one does this one. I want this one because I want it, not just because it looks cool, because I'm a Nintendo fan. So that's where I'm hoping ultimately it'll just be multi-use to the point where it's an integral part of most games that come out. I mean, they said it'll still be used in like Captain Toad, for example. We haven't even heard how that's going to happen, but even that's kind of an interesting idea. So I think that's where we'll finish off our little amiibo conversation. Make sure to head down below if you'd like to let us know if you're going to buy any amiibo, whether $12.99 is a good price point, what other games you might like to see amiibo in. And then, make sure to visit NintendoEnthusiast.com for full reviews as well as previews of games that use amiibo. So thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you guys then.